Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to Stately Vaughan Manor and another action packed episode of my 100 Favorite Books project. My 100 Favorite Books project. I made a list of my 100 favorite books. I made a video about it. I'll link it down below. You don't want to miss any of my thrill packed episodes. No way. So, my 100 Favorite Books project. So, I made this list of my 100 favorite books, and what I'm doing in these videos is I'm taking one book from that list for each video, and I'm trying to find the best edition I can of that book, the best edition for me. And once I have that edition, I will, in most cases, get rid of any other edition I might have lying around, and this will just be my edition of this book. This is as far as physical copies go. Of course, I've got ebook copies of all of these. But as far as physical copies go, in most cases, there are exceptions, like Lovecraft. But with this book, I'm just going to keep this one. And this is one of my very favorite books. It's an amazing book. I've talked about this book before on the Sunday Penguin. It is Leo Tolstoy's 1869 masterpiece, War and Peace. And for this book, War and Peace, I decided to go for the Easton Press edition. And because I wanted it to look Easton Press fancy, which this is. This is an awful nice one. They've done a few different bindings for this over the years. This is part of their 100 Greatest Books series, or 100 Best Books, one of those. There's old Leo right there. And there's the cover page. Unlike some Easton Press editions that are translations, this actually tells you what translation they're using. That's nice. This is the mod translation. The mod's actually New Tolstoy. And this is not a translation that I've actually read, but it's supposed to be one that is fairly high regarded. It's the one that the Oxford Press uses. They've revised it a couple times, Oxford has. This is the version that was revised in 1944, I think. I believe so. Yeah, this is the one that was revised from 1944. And I'm not sure what the revisions were, but that's the edition that this one is. The mod translation from 1944. The revision from 1944. And it's really cool. This is a really, really nice version of this book. It is very large. It is a fat book. War and Peace. And this edition is a pretty good size, and yet not uncomfortable to hold. It's a little shorter than some of the other Easton Press books. The paper is thinner than in some of the other Easton Press books, but it's still of very high quality. I'm not sure when this one was printed. Yeah, I'm not sure when this printing was. Doesn't say. It says copyright 81, but that doesn't mean this was printed in 81. I'm not sure when this edition was printed, but it's really nice. It's a really, really nice edition. They always do great editions, Easton Press, as far as their printings are concerned. This one has some illustrations that are pretty cool. This is the soiree at the beginning of the book. And I love this book, War and Peace, and so I'll just mention why I love it so much. Tolstoy himself did not consider it a novel. He considered it something else. Although it is a novel, really, as far as its structure is concerned, except that besides just the narrative, he throws a lot of philosophy in here. And at the end of this book, there is an extensive section of his philosophy regarding war, and then he lays bare at the end basically what he thinks this book is really all about. Basically, this is the story of the French invasion of Russia during the Napoleonic Wars. And it's about 5 families, basically, and what happens to them through the events of this war. And it's just a brilliant work. It has a bunch of characters, so many characters, but really, it's not that difficult to follow. It's not a difficult read, really. At least I've never found it so. And I know a lot of people are put off by this because it's huge. It is. And yet, a lot of the same people that are put off by this will read, gigantic, massive fantasy series that are very often at least as complex as this with as many characters. So really, if you can handle stuff like that, you can definitely handle this. I mean, really, if you can handle The Lord of the Rings, you can handle this. It's not a difficult work. At least I don't think so. It just takes an investment in time, that is true. But it's such an entertaining book. It's such a worthwhile book to read. It certainly lives up to its reputation, I believe. It is one of the greatest books ever written. Of that, I think I could be fairly certain. So it's not just one of my favorite books. It is regarded as being one of the best books. Is it the best book? Probably not, but it's one of the best, that's for sure. And if you're a reader of fiction, at some point in your life, you owe it to yourself. I'm not telling you have to, but you owe it to yourself to read this because it's magnificent. So dramatic, so entertaining, so worthwhile. It has an awful lot to say. It's interesting considering this book now about the French invasion of Russia, when nowadays you've got Russia doing the invading, and wars, sadly, have not gone away, obviously. It is something that we are still plagued by, war and the effects it has on people and on society. It's one of the great tragedies that we're in the 21st century, and this kind of thing not only is still happening, but shows no signs of ever ending, So this book is really, really worthwhile. I highly recommend it. It is absolutely one of my favorite books of all time, and just look at this. It's so beautiful. Really happy to get this edition. This is pretty much everything I wanted in an edition of War and Peace. And I'm going to put it right over there. Okay, guys, that's all I have to say for today about this book at this particular time. I did do, like I said, a Sunday Penguin on the book itself. I'll link that down below where I have more to say about the novel. I won't actually see you tomorrow because I'm not going to have any time to film anything between now and Sunday. So the next time I catch you should be the Sunday Penguin. Okay, guys, you have a great day.